One thing you want to plan for in life is so that you want to plan, because it's not going to happen by itself. You want to plan to have income. You want to make that, you want to guarantee. How can you have peace of mind about your future if you don't feel like you've got a plan to make sure you got income coming in? You got to look out for yourself. Can't always be sure you're going to work. Can't always be sure you're going to be alive to support those around you now or even in the future. But you're going to know that people who depend on you for support are going to need income, regardless whether you're around or not. And when you're for sure going to need the income, if you can work or not. So how does this thing go? As you go through your life, there's different stages you go through, and the key to understanding how this works is there's a theory. It's called the decreasing. You hear about this in the financial world by people who know what they're talking about. Decreasing responsibility theory. Rather than waste your time on learning about all kind of technical responsibility theory, it's important that you spend your time understanding the things that's really going to impact your life. So again, if we looked at life and we said, okay, we've got a grid going here. This is the money chart, the money side of it. And then we look at, okay, the pattern of your life. These are years going forward. This is now. When you, let's say you get, let's assume you're getting out of school. You know, you're getting started, having a family, having kids, buying home. You know, you're on the start out side of life, and then down here down the road, hopefully you're going to be at some point able to retire. And so we're at the retirement stage. So it's great to get a picture. How can you make decisions if you don't have a picture in your mind of how life works? Well, here's how it works regarding income and guaranteeing income for yourself. When you're starting out, hopefully, you're going to get a job. You're going to have an income. You have income, but you have no assets. You haven't had time to build assets. You know, it's sucking up all of your money just to get going. You might have a few dollars you've started saving, accumulating, but hadn't had time to compound. When you get over here to this side of retirement, you're not going to have an income unless you just decide to keep working and you're able to work. You know, your body thinks that's a good idea and is still able to do it. But income is going to be probably at least plan to have no income. It's great not to have to depend on your income in retirement. But hopefully, if you've done things right, you will have assets. Now, how this works is like this. You start off with lots of obligations. Lots of obligations as you go and you buy homes and you get married and you have kids. Lots of things have to be covered. Now, as you go out and you have your children, your family, as they get older, you're paying on your house, you find that your obligations diminish over life. They go down. Used to, they support the kids, live in your house for, first 18, 20 years or so, go to school. Now, hopefully, they're out by 35 or 40, but eventually, the suckers are going to move out. And they're going to be on their own. They can pay their way. Anyway, regardless. But so your responsibilities go down. You've had a chance to pay those things off. And hopefully, if you've had a plan, even if you start with small amounts of money in a stable fund, I won't get into talking about where to put it, but something stable gives you a good return. Over a period of time, that stuff, it starts small. It seems terrible, but it starts to add up where, you know what this is? This is your assets. Another way of looking at assets is you are self-insuring yourself. Now, over here, since you have obligations but no assets, what do you have to do? Well, that's when you get your insurance. That's when you get your life insurance. Why? For one reason only. Forget about this thing for investments, everything. For one reason, and that is to protect against the loss of what? Income. Because you have mouths to feed, obligations to pay. You got those income obligations are going to be there whether you're there or not. So you don't wring your hands. You don't have sleepless nights. You go and get the best term, not whole life, not endowment, not single pay. That's high price, high price, high price. These are versions of saying high price. You get term insurance because you're paying just for the insurance for a period of time, and you're going to hope that you live. You got a only a 1/3 chance of dying before, let's just say retirement age 65. Who knows when it is anymore? But you only have 1/3 chance of dying. You got 2/3 chance you're probably going to live, so you need to plan for that. So that's why you want to be building up the assets and to take totally, immediately, with a stroke of pen, the worry about income before you're self-insured. That's why you get the life insurance policy. But you don't waste. You get term insurance. You don't waste money because you excess money because you hope that that's not going to come into play. You're just hedging a bet. You're being proactive. You know that you are not God, and you know that you have a chance, like anybody else, of not having the full life. And if it doesn't, you want to make sure the other people who are counting on you, that their life can go on. No reason for their life to be over when yours isn't. So you go in there and you get yourself an insurance policy, but you're not going to be having that forever because you're working off your obligations. You know, you want to provide for your spouse, but your spouse is not going to have as long to live. That mortgage is going to be increasingly paid off. Those kids are older, they get to where they can pay themselves. So your obligations roll down. They're at the highest they'll ever be when you're young, so that's why you have your coverage. Stroke of pen, you take that out of play. But you're not going to have that as an issue forever because you're going to start self-insuring yourself. You're going to buy time through investments. You're not going to go out and buy a shopping center right off the bat, but you're going to start doing some smart, simple, regular things and getting that compounding effect starting to work for your money. Because in the beginning, you don't have any money compounding, but as you get money in there, it starts growing even faster because you got interest off of what's already in there combined with the new you're putting in there. It grows faster. So you're going to reach a point of where you are, somewhere down the road, depending on when you got started, how much you could put in there, self-insured. Now at that point, you don't need, once you're self-insured, you don't need life insurance anymore. You may, for tax planning purposes, keep it, but you don't need it because you've taken care of, you've built assets. See, that's the idea of the decreasing responsibility theory. Your responsibility goes down as you go through life, and your assets come up. So you've covered your responsibility by building assets and working off the obligations from raising a family, paying off your mortgage, things like that. So this is the theory of decreasing responsibility. You need to have that in the back of your mind so you can justify a couple of things. You can justify, number one, you can justify getting some term coverage because you're not going to be doing it forever, and you can also justify and making this a priority. And the other thing, making this a priority. Looking out for number one. Putting the dollars in there, even if it's, $50, $100 a month. Keep the habit going. Keep it in there. Don't touch it. Get it in there. Forget about it. Let it grow. Let it mature like an oak tree. And an oak tree is going to grow slow. But you look at it in 20, 30 years, that's going to have a nice shade to shade you in your retirement, shade you from the sun. That's what your money will do. So if you understand how this goes, you'll make it a priority. You won't begrudge yourself doing it because you'll know it's got value for you. And so here is the value of understanding that decreasing responsibility puts you in a position to make smart decisions about your money and smart decisions about how you position yourself so that you can always have guaranteed income. You and all the people around you that count on you for support can know they're going to have income coming in, and you know you're going to have income. So maybe it's frustrating, maybe it's exhausting to you, to go through all the everyday working and saving, and it might be a little boring for you, a little grind, but you're going to know, hey, this is how you turn out a winner financially in life. You're doing the things that put you in that rare percentage of people that come out with a smile on their face. No, I am not going to draw a smiley face, but put a smile on your face when you reach the retirement era, and know that along the way you have made sure that if anything knocks you out early, the people are counting on you for support, they're going to have guaranteed income too. That's the theory of decreasing responsibility, and that's the power it can play in helping you do the right things, make the right decisions as you do your financial planning going through life.